What's up, idiots? I am Sirens of Decay, and I spent an hour making this video and an armor rating video for nothing because I didn't have my Twitch muted, and during the entire video you can just hear Valorant gameplay being played as well as me talking. So after I had time to sleep on it and not be tilted, I'm gonna make this video again, and we're just gonna start right with the Twilight Oni. This is rate the sword kits. I didn't use this one probably at all, but I did really like the way it looked. I just really couldn't find like a gear setup or armor that I really liked to use it with. I would probably only use it with like all black armor. I really like it though. I think it's cool. It looks like it has like the sheath has kind of like a corrosive feel to it. It looks very like acidic. The hilt, I wish it was a different color. I don't really like the brown. But I do like the butterfly charm on the hilt, and then the purple tassels are really cool. The ribbon kind of like around the sheath is kind of like a whatever color to me. I'm not a really big fan of just the gray. It's a little boring to me, but overall, yeah, this is like a solid sword. It's a 7 for me. 1. It's the worst sword in this game. Absolute trash. Dueling Festival, I don't get it. The color is probably the worst part about it, because it already has the ribbon color that I don't like. They didn't change that. The hilt is just a worse brown, and then you have this orange and purple sheath that it's like it's checkers, but it's also not checkers. It's just, it hurts the eyes to look at. It reminds me of like a Renaissance fair, and it's terrible. 100% 1. Mamushi Venom. So this is just a very easy looking katana to me. There's nothing super cool about it. I think the coolest part is the ribbon on it, on the sheath. It's just a cool pop of color. You know, the cyan or seafoam or whatever you would call that is just, I really like it because the whole thing is just one brown with like different shades. And it's cool because like it's very boring. I wouldn't even say boring. It's very plain looking katana, and then that pop of color really makes it look cool. I would say a 7 for sure. Okay, so these blades, I'm not a huge fan of like the big furry sheath. I like the fur. I think it's cool. I just don't understand why it has to be like this really big sheath at the end. Like it gets really, really wide, you know? I don't mind it. It's not the worst katana in the game. It's not the worst sword kit in the game. But I would say, given the fact that the sheath is so fat, for me it kind of takes away from the sword kit. I like the color of the tape on the hilt. I do actually really like the ribbon, like the pattern that's on that. I think it's a weird color, but other than that, like the black and gold with that like kind of like magenta-y red is super, super cool to me. So I would say this one, if it wasn't for the kind of like the uglier color on the ribbon and the fat sheath, I would give this maybe an 8, but because of those two things, I really only want to give it like a 6. Sly Tanuki, it's gonna be probably a 10 from me, but only because this is a Easter egg for Sly Cooper. So obviously, if you didn't know, Sucker Punch is the creators of this game, as well as Sly Cooper, one of probably the best games of all time, simply for nostalgia. That was one of the first games I ever like really beat on the PlayStation 2, and it's just a cool little callback, you know, because we haven't had a good Sly Cooper game in a very, very long time. I really just like the colors too. The ribbon looks good. The tape on the hilt is a very cool looking blue. I like the blue and yellow. I wouldn't even really say it's gold. It's more yellow than blue, to really like stick it to the Sly Cooper aspect of it. And then obviously the tail of it, the fur is very raccoonish. So I respect it. 10 out of 10. Love it. FUUJIN'S Secret. This was actually when I did get this sword kit. I used this sword kit for a very long time. It was probably one of my favorites in the game. Out of like, I would say there's like, I have a top 5, and this one is definitely in the top 5. I really just liked the hilt. I liked the Oni mask charms on it. I love that. I love the tassels with like the skulls, the like the skull color, and then the red tassel on the end. The ribbon is really cool too because it's a different kind of ribbon. It's like more elongated, and then the color's awesome. And then the thing, I was doing this in my old video, or the video that I screwed up on. I don't know what this is called. The thing between the sheath and the hilt, the round spiky thing. I love that it's spikes. It's cool because it's one of the more different looking things, if you will, in the game. I love this sword. I would say 9 out of 10, without a doubt. So Bishamon's Fortune is just another recolor of FUUJIN'S Secret. Bishamon's Fortune is honestly going to be less of a rating for me, simply because the color scheme is just a little weird. I like the hilt a lot, and I do like the color of the ribbon on the sheath, but what I hate is the sheath itself is just too bright of a red for me. I'm like, red is one of my favorite colors, don't get me wrong, but the way it kind of like ombres out is just a little weird to me. I don't really like it, and it gets really bright down at the base of the sheath. And then the skulls being black with the blue tassel is just not my favorite combination. Blue and black combos, which you will see a lot with these sword kits, are just, I don't know, I don't like them. It's just an ugly color combo to me. So I would say a 7 out of 10 for this one. Spring Bamboo, nothing really of any significance here. It's not one of my favorites. It's actually probably one of my least favorites. I don't really like the cut in it, like the black and green together. It's just kind of whatever to me. The ribbon is just kind of ugly, like a yellowish brown. And then the base of the hilt doesn't really do much for me either. I would say like a 5 out of 10. And Yuzu Peel is just another recolor, but the only reason I do like it, I really do like a black and yellow combo. I think it is super cool. I don't think the sword itself is that cool. Like, there's a lot of brown, which I'm not a big fan of. The purple and brown actually do look good together. I do like that ribbon. And then also, I didn't say this about the other its recolor, but the thing is just an odd shape. I don't really like the shape of the thing. So, but it is better than the bamboo one. So I would say a 6 out of 10 for sure. Warrior's Brush. There is not a lot wrong with this sword. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but I love it nonetheless. I wouldn't say it's my top 5. Might even be top 6. I do really like this sword. I like the gold and the white and the black combination. I think it's really cool. I think there might be a little too much gold up at the top of the sheath, like all the little designs and like wrapped around it. It's a little weird to me, but I do like the base of it, and I really, really like that vibrant purple bow on the sheath. I think it just really, it brings out that color. I think really the only thing I don't like about this sword is how fat the thing is. Like, it's really big. It's just a brick square, you know? I'm not a big fan of that. But other than that, this is a really good sword. 8 out of 10 for sure. Azure Dragon's just another recolor. I like the hilt a lot. I like that sky blue. The ribbon is kind of whatever to me. It's just a gray. I'm not a really big fan of that navy blue, though. So I would say if the Warrior's Brush was an 8, I would give this maybe a 7 or a 6. If I had to pick one number, though, I would say a 6. OMUKADE'S Revenge. So with this one, I'm not a big fan of the like the sheath on the sheath. It's not a big problem, but I really don't like this one. I'm not a big fan of bugs, so I really don't like the centipede millipede thing on it. I think that just looks weird to me. The colors are cool though. I don't mind the colors at all. I think the orange is kind of taking it away from me just because it's like that sheath on the sheath. I think if it was maybe kind of like the Tonto and then maybe had like pops of orange and like that yellow, I think it'd be a different story. But just off the rip, I think the Tonto is honestly cooler than the katana. I like the tassel colors. I like that blue. It's like a green blue. I don't mind it at all. I don't like the centipede charms on the hilt, but I do like that tape style. And the blue honestly is really not that bad. I would say this sword, given all the things that I hate about it, it's still not even that bad. I would say this is like a 6 for me. Island's Keeper, I actually really like. Regardless of like the sheath on the sheath, I really do like this this style. I like the color scheme. I like the white with the gray tape on the hilt, and then like the bronze kind of the thing, and then like, you know, the accents of bronze. And then I really like, honestly, like what I would assume to be Birds of Paradise. I really, really like Birds of Paradise. Are probably one of my favorite flowers or plants or whatever, if you will. And I really do like the way this looks on it. I actually did use this sword quite a lot. I wouldn't say it's in my top 5. I maybe would say at the tail end of my top 10. This one's like a 7 or an 8 for me. I do really like the Tanto, so we'll say let's go for an 8. Heavenly Falcon, this is 100% in my top 5. I actually really just like the color scheme. I know it's like one of the fur ones, and I don't really like all the fur ones, but this one is specifically in my top 5 for a pretty good reason. I think the color scheme of it is just really just wacky and odd. I really like the white coming off of like it's almost like bamboo looking, the like the rest of the hilt and the sheath, and then that pop of like that blue with the bright hot pink ribbon is just really, really interesting to me. And then the charms on the both hilts are cool too. I don't even know really what they are, but they look awesome. The thing is a little wonky. It's like a weird looking design, but it's cool because it's like pretty much almost rounded except for that little bulbous swirl on the left hand side. And then yeah, I really like the fur. It looks cool, just the spots of gray and then all white. I would say this one's without a doubt a 9 for me. I love it. So Tanuki's brush is just another recolor, obviously. Instantly, I'm not a huge fan, just because the fur is just a weird color to me. I don't really like it. Just kind of a boring fur. Reminds me of like fox fur. And then the blue and yellow, it's just too much of a dark blue on like a dark yellow on the hilt. It's kind of whatever. The Tanto just altogether is just blue and yellow and doesn't really do anything for me. And then the ribbon is kind of boring. I do like the beads with like the blood on it. I think that's kind of cool. But honestly, this is probably like a 6 for me. I don't even think I ever really used it. YASHA'S Embers is really cool, only because it's probably one of like the first sword kits that I really found and like was like, oh, there's like endless possibilities with this. Little did I know there was going to be a lot of recolors. But yeah, it was one of the first ones I found. I was like, oh, this is sick. I'm going to find tons of really cool sword kits in the game. So I really, really fell in love with this one. I would say top 10 for sure. I liked how vibrant like those blues were on the tape. I liked that it was like dark blue and then it kind of extended out to light blue. The white on it is really cool as well. And then the emblem, I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it is. It looks like flames or something like that. It does look really cool. And then the sheath itself with like the ember marks on it looks awesome. I don't really understand like that little rope thing on the katana. But it's not hurting anybody. It's cool. I just don't really understand what it's for. And then the charms on the end of the hilts are really cool as well. This one's a solid 8 from me. Hidden Forest is the recolor. I don't like it at all. I don't like the way it looks like paint splatter on bamboo, really. Just very boring colors. I'm not a big fan of green, especially like brown and green. It's kind of just whatever to me. I do like the charms though. I like that hint of blue. It's just kind of like random and it makes it cool looking. But the charms aren't really going to save the rating for this one. I would say this one's maybe a 6. HUIKI and Sunlight. So these next two, they have these weird sheath shapes, and it's like a really big turn off for me, because like if it was a normal looking sheath for both the katana and the Tanto, I would say this would probably be a 7 or an 8 from me, because I like the colors. I think bronze, gold, and red look really good together. I like the charm on the hilt of the katana, and honestly I like the wrap of the katana. It's like a very dark brown, almost black. And I like the pattern of the sheath itself. It's just the sheath shape that I really ruins it for me. Even the thing between the sheath and the hilt is a really cool design. I like that weird swirl. But yeah, the sheath is really taking it out for me. I would say this one's maybe it's the only thing I don't like about this, so I would say a 7. This one, on the other hand, I really don't like any of it. Like I said, I don't like black and blue together. I don't think it's a good color combination. This one's probably like a 4 or a 5 for me. If we're being generous, we'll say a 5. only because of the hilt and the thing looking as cool as it does. Hunting Bear is honestly a very boring skin. I'm gonna give it a lower score. In the original video that I made, I gave this a 7 because it was average, but really now that I'm like looking at it, I don't really like it. I thought I did because I do like a black and yellow combination, but there are better black and yellow combinations in this game, and this one's just kind of boring. I don't really like the stripe pattern on it. I think it's kind of just odd and boring. The katana itself is, or I should say the hilt itself is cool. I like brown is kind of whatever. I like the yellow accents. I think that's cool. And the hilt, or the thing on the hilt, in between the hilt and the sheath, is cool. It's not super square, like it's not really big like Warrior's Brush, but it's pretty normal looking. I would say a 5 on this one. Hunting Bear, 5. Izanami's Grief, I really hate this color. I really don't like it. You actually get this from a Mythic quest. I don't like it. I would say a 3 just because the orange is just so bright, and then that blue and black combination is one of the worst. Like I said, I just do not like. There's very specific blue and black combinations, and it's like the darker the blue with the black makes it terrible for me. I like the gold accents on the hilt and the thing. I think that kind of makes up for it. But at the end of the day, the snake skin is a cool thing, but with the bright orange, I don't know, it just reminds me of Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, a 3 for Izanami's Grief. Midnight Hanabi, which is just the recolor of Izanami's Grief, I like it more. I like that it's all just black and gold, and then there's only yellow or blue on the ribbon. I think that's a cool touch. I would say this one is a significant increase because I really do like the pattern on the sheath as well. I would say this is a solid 7. It's I used it for a while. It's a very, very good, not amazing katana or sword kit. Genbu's Darkness, it's just a little too boring for me. This one, I'm just not a huge fan of how plain it is. The colors are just very bleh, you know, like they don't pop. They kind of just stay very, very cool throughout the blade, which is honestly an aesthetic for some people. I really do like the thing though, like the little like independent cross almost. It looks very, very cool. I really like that, and it's got like almost like lightning bolts and like clouds on it is what I'm looking like here. It's very cool. I would say that's probably one of the coolest like things in the game. But other than that, I don't really like the alligator skin pattern, especially like the color. The hilt is kind of cool, and the charm on the hilt is cool. So I would say very, very average, maybe a little below average for me. So a 6. Breath of Hachiman is without a doubt my favorite sword kit in the game, me personally. Now, and remember, these are all opinions, you know, whether you guys agree or not. This is just my opinion. So if you hate me for saying that Genbu's Darkness is not the best skin in the game, sorry. Breath of Hachiman, my favorite skin. Like I said, my favorite color is red, and putting that bright, vibrant red on the tape of the hilt is 100% one of my favorite things they could have done. I really was looking for a sword that had that red tape on that hilt, and I finally found it with this one. And the gold feathers charms on the ends of the blade, or sorry, the hilt are just really cool. I like the white ribbon too. It's very plain. It's very just a very sleek looking sword kit, and the black with the gold songbirds on the sheath just make it amazing for me. I honestly there's not a lot that I can gripe with on this sword, because even the thing is it's you can see that there's a songbird pattern to it. I think the only thing I don't like about this sword is probably the tops of the sheaths. If you can see, I just don't really like the pattern that's on there. They look a little odd to me, but that's not gonna make this not a 10 out of 10 for myself. It's an awesome sword kit. Gold KOIRIVER, on the other hand, which is its recolor, awesome from the hilt to the sheath. Great hilt. I like the white with the black. The same charms are cool. I like the silver charms, the silver accents on it. But the blue with the little gray swirls, just don't do it for me, especially with the brown tassels at the top. I don't understand. I just don't like it. It's just not, I'm not a big fan. I don't like the polka dotty thing. And then the blue is just kind of an uglier blue. I think it takes up too much of the sword. It's just very, very blue. I used it for a little bit to see if I would like it, and honestly, I don't. The white hilt is the coolest part about this. 4 out of 10. Warrior's Faith. Can't read or talk. Probably one of my least favorite ones. I would say it's like a 2. I think it looks like an umbrella. Like, I literally think that I'm gonna pull out an umbrella to stop the rain, not pull out a katana and cut down Mongols. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like this kind of sheath. It really just makes it look like I just tied up an umbrella and I'm walking to work. The hilt is cool, but not cool enough to make those, especially the colors of the, we'll say the umbrella sheath is just ugly. The pattern's ugly. I don't like it. 2 out of 10. Hero of Tsushima, you actually get this for pre-ordering the deluxe version of the game. It's okay. I don't like the yellow tape. I think it's a very like weird pale yellow, and it kind of takes me out of it. And then the ribbon is very bright yellow and black. The pattern on the sheath itself is cool, like the little cut marks, but I don't really like the silver all around the sheath. I would say this one's like a 4 out of 10 for me. I did not use this sword at all. The sword of Clan Sakai. So this is just the base sword that you get when you start the game. And honestly, for being one of the base swords, probably one of the best. I wouldn't say it's in my top 5, but it's definitely in my top 10. I really do like this sword. I didn't use it a lot just because I found so many other ones that I wanted to use first, but this is a good looking sword. I really like that the clan symbol is on the sword. I wish they would have done that with different swords, maybe a couple more, but I get it. Like, this is their sword. Why would they be on any other sword kit? I like just the simple white with the hilt and the black. And then I really like the sword, or the sheath pattern. It's almost like rain or like wave water. I really enjoy it. And the ribbon, it's cool too. Usually I'm not a black and blue guy, but like it kind of just makes it kind of ombre out to just a deep blue, almost not really a black at all. I think the only gripe I have with this sword in particular is just like the silver at the top of the sheath. It's kind of just weird. 8 out of 10 for sure. Warrior Shadow. Okay, this is equipped right now. This is a recolor of the Masubi Venom. I like this one a hell of a lot more. I'm a very big fan of purple and gold. Lakers fan for life, obviously. But the purple tape on the hilt is really cool. I really like how vibrant that rope is. And then I like this like the snake skin pattern, or like the crosshatch pattern. I really like just like the last one was a very simple brown. And this one just pops more with just the black and gold, and then with the purple and gold. I like this one a lot. I would say 8 out of 10 for sure. I really do like this sword. Prowling Tiger. So I was going to give this a lower score in the beginning, and I've been kind of thinking about it the entire time I've been making this video. I actually really do like this one. I wouldn't say it's an 8. I would say just straight off the rip it's a 7. I was going to give it a much lower score, but looking at it, I really do like the color combinations. I like the tiger fur. I think that's cool already, but the weird looking blue with that yellow make the hilt just really pop to me. I really enjoy it. I think it's super cool. It's just a different color combination, and then with the green and yellow rope around it, it's also very interesting. It's just an interesting sword kit to look at, and I think that kind of gives it its own character, and like props to that. So 7 for Prowling Tiger. So Snow Demon's Eyes, I think this is the last one that's in my top 5. I think I gave 5 now. I really don't remember. I might have given 6. I might have given less. But Snow Demon's Eyes is definitely in my top 5. And it's simply because the white and gold, you can't ever go wrong with all white with gold accents, because it's very regal looking. So many different games do it. The one I can think of right now off the top of my head is Destiny 2, the first raid. All the stuff you get is gold and white because it looks very regal and nice and clean. It's a very clean aesthetic. So they do that here with Snow Demon's eyes, but then they also give it some character with that really cool green on the hilt you see, and on the tassels. Those are probably my favorite things about this sword. I think the ribbon is a little weird. I originally hated that ribbon because I was like, what is that color? Like, it has nothing to do with the sword. But I think it also is just kind of cool that it gives it, it's like, oh, that's a really weird color combination for the rest of the sword. I think it gives it, like I said with the last one, it just gives it some character. This one is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. I love this sword. I used it a lot. Emperor's Tears is just kind of like, it's almost like Emperor's Tears wanted to be Snow Demon's eyes, and it just didn't live up to its expectations. Because the white is there, but there's like kind of gold, but the yellow, it's like so bright yellow, those little charms, that they almost take away from the gold and make it look bronze, just to me. I really don't like how bright that yellow is, and the weird stitching almost looks like yarn or something on the hilt is just kind of not doing it for me. I do like the thing, like I like that pattern. It's a recolor of GENBU'S Venom, I think it is, or GENBU'S Darkness, I think that's what it was. But it's just not doing it for me. I would say this one's a 5 out of 10. I really don't like the yellow in there. And for the last one, Sea Dragon's Wing. So Sea Dragon's Wing is a recolor of the umbrella one that I hated. I don't like this one a lot either, but it's definitely better than its recolor because I like the colors a lot more. It still looks like an umbrella, don't get me wrong, but I like the pattern on the actual sheath, and then the wrap, or the umbrella thing, if you will. I like the colors a lot more. I like the red on the inside. I like that hexagon pattern, and I also like that dragon pattern that's on the middle of it. It just looks really cool. I don't think I ever really used this sword kit because of the tied umbrella, but it's definitely a cool sword kit. I would honestly give this like a 6. If that didn't even have the umbrella on it, or maybe just the dragon on it, I would give it probably a 10. This thing is really cool colors. I like the hilt a lot. I like the charm that's on the hilt. And then the dragon that's on the thing is really cool as well. But yeah, they kind of ruin it with this umbrella looking feel. So 7 out of 10. And I think that's all of them. Alright, so that's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please like it on YouTube. Give me a comment. Tell me what you guys thought about the sword kits. Tell me whether you liked all of them, hated all of them, wish there were more, disagreed with me, agreed with me. I want to hear your guys' input. I really would like to see what you guys think. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am Sirens of Decay, and here's an outro.